Yeah, can you hear me? All right. Welcome to my podcast. Still haven't figured out a name for it yet. So I'm just keep going with my podcast. I think that's what I'm gonna use. I think I like that the most. Uh this is your host, Kwame Shakur. I'm currently on my way to kickboxing class. It is the what day is it today? Today is the 23rd of May, around about 4 o'clock. And I guess I should talk about something. Uh, I think the first thing I want to talk about is me going into kickboxing and why I decided to pick up this sport. And in my mid 30s, decided to do a sport that takes so much out of you. Um, You know, boxing really lets you know a lot about yourself because I realize a lot about myself as I'm boxing. Like it really helps you identify some of the things that subconsciously you might be hiding from yourself. Um, One of the things I notice is I don't like getting hit, and of course you be like, man, don't nobody like getting hit. That's normal, right? But in this life, you have to realize you're gonna get hit, right? Like that's just part of life. Same way with kickboxing, that's just part of the game. You will get hit. No one can be Muhammad Ali all the time and shoot punches and just be miraculously fast. Sometimes somebody's gonna hit you, and it's the same with life. Sometimes, man, life will throw a blow at you, and what I'm realizing just by doing kickboxing is really, and I know it sounds a lot of cliche because you hear people say this all the time, but it's really not about the hit. It's about how you react to the hit. And the other day, I was totally blind to what I was doing, but as I look back in retrospect and I see exactly what I was doing, I was anticipating the hit, and I was trying so hard not to get hit that I got hit. I ended up getting hit because I wasn't paying attention and being focused and executing. I was so busy on not getting hit. And the way that translates into my life is sometimes I'm scared to take risks. Sometimes I'm scared to take risks, and I anticipate failing to the point where I get hit by life. When if I was just planning on what I wanted to do and just executing and just taking the hits as I go, they wouldn't be as devastating. They wouldn't disrupt me, and I wouldn't be so knocked off my pivot. Because man, dude was beating me up yesterday. He was just getting at me, and I got tired, and it was bad. Like if this was a real fight, it would have been brutal because I just mentally I tapped out. But I realized, and like I said, looking back on it, I had tapped out before the fight even began because I was so worried about the hit that I was gonna take. And that's something that I want to change about myself. You know, I think a lot of people, well, I don't know if a lot of people, but I know I can relate to that. Like in life, sometimes, man, I'm just way too focused on not getting hit to the point where that's exactly what happened. And like we were just saying, it's inevitable. Like you're gonna get hit, but as you get hit, it's up to you to decide. Okay, is this hit going to disrupt everything and cause me to just throw myself all the way out of my game and lose the battle, lose the war? Or am I going to take this hit, knowing I'm going to take this hit, keep going until I can become victorious in my goal or in the battle that I'm currently in? So that's really was my thing today. I wanted to talk about that because Um, like I said, I just started kickboxing. Most people my age would not be kickboxing. That's something usually people start around, in their 20s or when they're fairly young, not in their mid 30s. When you start having health problems, you when you're 20, you get out of the bed and you can just get out of the bed and just start walking. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm not just getting out of the bed. Matter of fact, I just woke up from a nap and I'm still sluggish right now as I'm talking to you. So I know that for me, it's not that easy to just get out of the bed, but I wanted to do it because I feel like every man should learn some type of martial arts. I feel like every woman should learn some type of martial arts. Everybody should learn some type of martial arts, but specifically a man, because in this world, it can be so brutal towards men. And I think that martial arts kind of helps you deal with that because that brutality that's in combat sports, like I said when we was just talking about getting hit, it can translate into real life. So for me, that's why I picked it up. And even though some people in my family was like, "What are you doing? You know, you can get hit and you can bad things can happen to you, and next thing you know, you be looking crazy, you know, disability. You too old for this. You need to act your age." And they telling me all this stuff, but I'm like, this is something I have to do. And in life, there's sometimes there's people not gonna believe in what you're doing. And I'm not saying I'm finna become the next Peter, Pete, Cunningham and nothing like that. I'm not about to become Sugarfoot or I don't think that I'm gonna be the next Sakat or anything like that. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be. But I think that learning this skill and learning how to persevere through the hits, I think it's going to do. It's already doing great things for my self-esteem, and it's also doing great things for me mentally. It's helping me go to other places. So I'm gonna see where it goes. I don't know exactly where it's gonna take me. It would be cool if I could look back, 2, 3 years from now, and if I've actually made some type of significant progress in the sport to remind myself, okay, hold on, my sister's calling. I don't know if I'm gonna send her to, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm still recording. Yeah, y'all getting this raw, man. I'm driving right now, like I said, to my, to my class. Uh, but yeah, like, I believe everybody should take some type of combat sport. You know, just to, this world has so much that you deal with. You deal with so much frustration, you deal with so much pressure, and sometimes you need to just punch on something. Like you need to get that aggression out, um, and that's the way I decided to do it. Some people probably would have thought I needed to pick up gardening, something less physical, but I just chose to do kickboxing. I plan on continuing to learn different sports, learn different, ways to fight, to just do things like that. Oh man, the police just flew past me. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but the police is flying past me. I guess somebody did something and they trying to get there as soon as possible. They just flew through the red light. Um, but yeah, and the technical part of it, like, as far as like kickboxing, it's so many technical aspects to fighting that I had no idea. From the way that you breathe. The one thing that's really starting to just like really surprising to me is how important angles are. You think that you got somebody, but if they got the proper angle on you and they know what they're doing, it's lights out for you, bro. And how you can use these angles to not even just with like kickboxing, like even with jujitsu or judo or whatever art it is, just the art of like gravity and just being able to use other people's gravity against them and leverage and your stance is everything. The way that you stand, I had no idea that the way I have been standing all these years. You live in amongst, I don't mean to make it racial, but it is kind of a thing. And I know it's not just black people, but in black people, like I grew up in Mississippi where it was nothing but black people, like black and white. That's what it was. I grew up around some white people, but mostly black. And around black people, you gonna fight. Like that's just we've been fighting all our lives. You know what I'm saying? So when you gonna fight when you're around black people, right? And I thought I could pretty much handle myself. From fighting from the time I was young with my cousins on up. I haven't fought as much as I used to when I was in my youth. But as I, got older, I figured I can handle myself if something happened. But you realize, like, if someone actually, there's a difference between throwing punches and actually fighting. You know what I mean? If you actually learn how to fight, you can be somebody that's just throwing punches. And that's what I was doing when I was training with this guy. Like, I was trying to throw punches. This guy was fighting. Like, he was really fighting. And fighting involves stance, it involves angles, it involves parroting, like all these things that were completely foreign to me. I had no idea about this stuff. I had no idea that this is something that you can actually do. Uh, I was completely helpless. I'll put it like that. So that's another thing. And like I said before, just to circle back to what I was saying before, that translates into life. A lot of times in life, I thought I could just wing it. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody else, I'm pretty sure sometimes whoever's listening to this, if anybody's ever gonna listen to this, I'm pretty sure you thought you could just wing it at some point, right? Like you just, well, I'll figure it out as I go. And don't get me wrong, that is a good philosophy to have if you just like doing something that you're unsure about, but you know that you're only going to get it with experience. But when you're going up against other things or other people, it's better to have a strategy and understand the technical aspects of what you're doing, and not just saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna get out here and do it." It's like it's plenty of people who can just play basketball, right? You can go on the court and you can just score points, and you just naturally might be talented in basketball. You might have a good vertical. You might be able to just actually shoot the ball, but you know, it's a difference between that and then you going up against somebody that's in the NBA or that's in the NCAA or somebody that does this professionally. Like those type of people have a different they have a different game than yours. You might be good, and you might can go out there and wing it against somebody that you can just wing it against. But when you facing somebody that knows what they're doing, you're in trouble. Because even if they're not fighting, even if it's something like basketball, it's all about angles. It's all about your stance. It's all about the way that you perceive the game. All that stuff matters. And I'm just realizing all of that as I'm fighting. So that's why I was saying earlier when I first started, is like fighting has helped me understand myself a lot better. I'm scared to get hit. That's one thing I have to break out of. And in life, I've been scared to get hit. I've always kind of played it safe because I was like, well, if I play it safe, then I should be fine. I shouldn't get a hit. But that's not how life works. Life will hit you. Like it will hit you, and you have to just either get hit and let the hit just mess up everything and throw you off your game plan, or or you can have a game plan and understand that this is part of the game and accept it and take it and roll with the punches. So that has been my podcast. This is my first podcast. I'll be trying to do more with you guys. Um, and yeah, man, I appreciate whoever listens to this. And this is the beginning of my podcast journey. And hopefully I can bring you guys more. I hope that everyone that listens to this, that hears the sound of my voice, whatever you're going through, if you're going through anything, that you make it through it and understand that you are beautiful, you are important, you do matter, and you will make it through whatever this life throws. You're going to beat all the punches. So just keep going. All right. How do I turn this thing off? I don't know. I'm driving on the freeway, guys, so trying to make sure I do this right. Okay, there it is. All right, peace.